Good afternoon and good evening, depending on where you are. Thanks so much for joining our first LinkedIn Live session. We're excited to have you here today. We're here live from CES 2023 and talking about the smart home and one of the hottest technologies, Matter. We've been getting a lot of questions about Matter, so to answer these, sitting here beside me are two industry experts, Rafael Sotomayor, NXP EVP and GM for Secure Connected Edge, and Burl Curtis, analyst at More Insights and Strategy for IoT and Edge. But mostly we're here to answer your questions, so type them in and we'll address them as we go. All right, let's get to the heart of the matter. Now here at the show, we see that Matter is the star of CES. Why is it such a big deal?
Well, I think SH, I really think the smart home is broken. It's broken. In my house, I've got 3 different ecosystems. I've got 3 different types of devices that don't connect the same way to my smart speakers, my home automation platforms. It's just a mess, and that's what Matter is trying to do. It's trying to fix that. Ideally, under Matter, all devices are going to plug and play with each other. They'll communicate with one another. They'll communicate with any home automation platform. Installation will be simple, and we'll use your existing networks that are already in your home, so you don't need any new infrastructure. That's the promise of Matter. And the reality of Matter is that it actually works. And it's being demonstrated here at CES in many different booths. There's like 550 certified products with over 100 more on the way.
Wow.
And the astonishing thing is that Matter accomplished all that in 3 years. So 3 years ago it was a whiteboard discussion, and today it's the star of the show at CES. That is remarkable. And it's driven by some of the biggest names in consumer electronics: Amazon, Apple, Google, NXP. So that's why I think it's a big deal. Nothing like this has ever happened before, not in the consumer electronics space.
I agree. I think the smart home it doesn't feel very smart, right? It's just, it's frustrating. I think you need to be an enthusiast, right? To be able to, have the energy and the patience to deal with all the incompatibilities, all the frustration, the difficulties of selecting a product, making sure it's going to work with the other products you have in your house, to install it. And I think that's what Matter is such a big deal, right? It's like you said, I think it will unlock tremendous value to the consumer.
Yeah, I wouldn't even consider trying to set up a smart home because it just feels like a headache after headache waiting to happen. But I'm so excited to hear. So, Rafael, tell me what you're showing here at CES.
Oh, well, first of all, we're very excited to be here at CES. I'm back in full force, talking to our customers, talking to our partners. With respect to Matter and smart home, we're showing a complete suite of products. Anything that our customers need to develop a Matter ecosystem, we're showing several concepts. We're showing Matter devices, Matter controllers, Matter border routers, working over Thread, working over Wi-Fi. We're also showing adjacent technologies like UWB that adds new capabilities, enables new use cases to take that experience of taking the concept of not just the smart home, but closer to that autonomous home. And I think we're quite excited at what the reaction of our customers has been.
Yeah. All right, I have to get the elephant out of the room. We've seen lots of smart home standards, and all of them have claimed to revolutionize the smart home. Why is Matter any different?
Well, you're right. For the last 15 years, we've had a whole bunch of smart home standards, and each one has its own radio, its own language, its own way of communicating between devices and applications. That's what I said earlier, it's a mess. And the result is a fragmented industry. So if I'm manufacturing a smart home device, it won't necessarily work with the one that you manufacture. And an application developer would have to support either one or the other, or would have to go to the trouble of supporting multiple ecosystems, and it doesn't scale. Matter is different because it's a common language that runs over any IP-bearing network and unifies what is today a very fragmented market. So yeah, it's a valid criticism where people say, we've already got a lot of standards, why do we need another one? Well, this is why, because Matter addresses a problem that the others don't.
Rafael, you mentioned something, the autonomous home. Tell me a bit more about that and why it's different from a smart home.
I think what we have today in the smart home is very primitive. It's mostly a remote control applications. Turn the lights on, set the temperature on your thermostat. And in reality, literally it's like replacing the way we interface with our devices through mechanical buttons or switches. We now doing it through voice commands or some kind of displays. I think we want to get to a different level, right? We want to have the home to have situational awareness, right? To be aware of our intentions and take dynamically intelligent actions. And for that, we need to have the aggregation of all the information our devices have and use that collective information to take intelligent decisions. And that's what Matter will enable, right? Matter, in my opinion, will be table stakes for smart home devices. And the only way to get to an autonomous home that anticipates you, that anticipates your action and your needs, and anticipates your behaviors, is through communication, ubiquitous communication, and that's what Matter enables.
So in the autonomous home, when my toddler wakes up at 5:30 in the morning instead of 6, it will be intelligent enough to know that I'm going to need a coffee and to turn on the coffee machine. Is that what I'm getting?
Well, I sure hope it works something like that.
Me too.
Yeah, but I guess the real question is how long it's going to take, right? I mean, I get this question a lot. So is this a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year problem? Why is it going so slowly?
Right.
Well, the CSA says that it's going to take a few years, and they've put in place a process of semi-annual releases where they're going to regularly update the functionality. So we're going to see Matter progress fairly rapidly and at a fairly measured pace over the next 2 or 3 years. Now I'm a little bit more optimistic than that, or less optimistic than Rafael is about this. I'm thinking maybe 3 years is the journey to go from what we have today, which is basically remote control. Smart home is largely just that. It's remotely controlling things to higher levels of automation. And then finally to this notion of full autonomy, where the home has enough situational awareness to actually act on its own.
Yeah. Let me add a point in there. There's a reason why I'm quite optimistic on the uptake and the adoption of Matter is I see it today in the show, right? I see how the customers are coming in and some of the OEMs and the partners and looking at what's possible, right? The ability to use any software platform that you have today, which is not possible today, but any software platform to access any device. We're showing it here on the floor. And the amount of orders for our SDKs and interest in our products that we're showing is phenomenal. So I do believe that some of our customers are going to have products a lot earlier than 3 years. Hopefully, it's but next CES we're going to be talking about some of the products that we're going to be launching. But I'm quite optimistic of what Matter will do and how fast it will do.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I really need that cup of coffee as soon as those cries come out. Rafael, I want to know, what is NXP doing to accelerate the adoption of Matter?
NXP has been at the epicenter of Matter. We've been a founding member of the Thread and founding member of Matter. And the way we look at this is we look at what Matter ecosystem needs, and then we create fit-for-purpose products. We have now Matter-certified platforms. We have solutions with tri-radios to be able to actually make it super simple for our customers to deploy Matter, whether it's Wi-Fi or 802.15.4 or Thread radios. We abstract all the complexity. We have hardware and software platforms. We're trying to make it easy for our customers to deploy Matter, And we want to make sure that they get it right and they do it well.
Yeah, I completely agree. It turns out that customers today, as we explained earlier, really have a hard time deploying this stuff. So the promise of Matter is to make these devices easy to buy, easy to understand, easy to install, and to make them work with all the other stuff that customers already have. So if we can do that, then what we really do there is we turn the home into an integration platform, a platform much like PCs and stuff, right? A PC is a platform where you can plug in all kinds of peripherals and put it in all kinds of situations and have it do predictable things. You can buy a printer with a USB cable and plug it in and it just works. That's the model we're trying for here, to in effect turn the home into a platform where you can buy stuff, take it home, plug it in, turn it on, and it works with all of your other stuff that's in there and with a number of different applications. And if we do that, those applications will rapidly evolve to higher levels of intelligence, even autonomy.
I mean, all of this sounds incredible, but how are average consumers like me going to benefit from Matter? I would love to have an autonomous home. How do we do that?
That's with Matter. It should be as simple as deciding what you want to do, picking out the products, buying them, plugging them in, turning them on. It shouldn't be that hard. It is today, but it shouldn't be any harder than buying USB peripherals for your computer and just plugging them in. Buy a new keyboard, plug it in, it just works. That's ultimately what we want to do with Matter.
I'm looking forward to it. And we're here at the Consumer Electronics Show, and all around us we see these incredible smart home devices. What are some of the benefits these CE industry players are going to receive from Matter?
Well, I think Matter is foundational in many ways, and I'll go and say that with Matter, it will allow the companies to do what they do best and worry about ecosystem creation and about connectivity and those headaches that don't add any value. It allows them to focus on their application, right? I mean, in the case of somebody making sensors, for instance, right? They don't have to worry about making let's say a thermometer that is Wi-Fi or thermometer that is Thread. They just make a thermometer, and Matter takes care of the connectivity within the network. I think it's going to unlock resources that companies don't have, so they can focus on innovation. There's no doubt in my mind that Matter will become ubiquitous. I think Matter will become mainstream, and what's happened is it becomes fertile ground for innovation. I think there will be new product categories that are going to be born because of Matter. I think there will be new companies that are going to be created around Matter. I think the impact in the market of Matter is going to be significant.
Yeah.
Significant.
Well, if we think about Bill's example of a USB, I guess a keyboard manufacturer doesn't have to think about how to make the USB work with the computer, and that's the beauty of Matter, is it's going to just work. And
all that plumbing is just part of the Matter system, and companies like NXP are providing almost complete solutions for all of the plumbing that enables devices to communicate with one another and with applications. So that whole substrate of connectivity is no longer of concern to application developers and to device developers. They simply use what's there, and they can write their applications on top of that with confidence that it's just going to work when the consumer buys it.
That sounds great, Rafael.
I think the potential is quite large. If you were to look at the ecosystem of Bluetooth, back in 2005, people wouldn't be able to dream what the products that we could create now. I think this Matter is at that stage right now. It's not nascent. However, it's built on a very strong foundation, which is foundation of Thread and a foundation of Wi-Fi. And Ethernet. It's based on foundation of IP communications. And so because of that solid foundation, I think the potential is kind of hard to imagine where it can go, but it's going to be quite large.
That's right, and other IP networks will eventually join the party, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
For example, there's nothing that says that you couldn't use 5G. to connect devices as well.
Yeah.
So by using IP, Matter can define a language for things to speak over any of these IP-bearing networks.
Indeed.
So
And that's what they've done.
Oh, sorry. to
Yeah,
interrupt.
that's what they've done.
I see we have some questions coming in from online. So for those of us who are just joining us, we're here live from CES 2023. Sitting beside me here are two industry experts, Rafael Sotomayor, NXP EVP, and we've got Bill Curtis from More Insights and Strategy. First question that we're coming in from online is, what Matter products have you seen at CES so far? Are there any out on the market today?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of product announcements. There's been some disappointment that some companies have announced products that they're not going to ship for a while. But I wouldn't be too concerned about that. The big companies like Google and Amazon and Apple and Samsung are solidly behind this. They have large portfolios of products that are either certified or in the works. But we really can't comment on their plans for when they're going to offer them to the public. So that's about the best answer I can give to that right now. We haven't seen. I've seen a lot of stuff at CES, but I haven't seen all of it. So I don't want to single out just those that I happen to have looked at. But it's all covered in great detail online, and we're going to be hearing all about these Matter products for the next few months as they roll out.
We've got you recording too many videos on Matter to be walking around the booth, so next time we'll let them
Well,
walk
that's a
around a
good
bit
point,
more
actually.
to see the rest of the show. Rafael, I have a question for you. How does NXP help developers get to market faster with their Matter products?
Well, I mean, I think that end-to-end solutions, right? That's the one thing that we have. We're heavy here in the show, showing our products, our solutions, our reference designs. If you look at our solutions that has the tri-radio solutions, it's difficult to put two radios together. Wi-Fi, Thread, Bluetooth. All these products use similar frequencies or the same frequency. In this case, like 2.4 gigahertz. Using all these radios, we abstract the complexity. We focus on coexistence of the radios. We take away the complexity of putting the radios and putting the protocols, and we allow the customers to really focus on their application. On some reference designs, proven coexistence, the collaterals, the reference designs, the partners that we have. So we're trying to make sure that the customers don't have any objection to actually go ahead and get in the bandwagon of Matter, because this is what is going to solve the biggest problem we have in smart home, which is interoperability in communications.
I think this next question, I think, is also for you, but Bill, jump in here if you want to. How does Matter affect local control versus cloud connectivity?
I can actually answer that
Yeah,
if that's okay.
go for it.
Matter is primarily an in-house local control protocol. But there's a special type of device that Matter uses to do that control. And a Matter controller can be something like a smart speaker or a smart home hub or something like that. And in fact, Apple, Google, Samsung, all have that. Amazon, they all have those things. With that in place, those controllers can run the show. But those controllers in turn talk to cloud applications.
Okay.
So that Alexa will do, what you tell her to do, and it actually accomplishes that by talking from the cloud down to the Matter controller in the house and telling the controller what to do. So that's good news about Matter, because when your internet connection goes down and you drive home, you can still open your garage door and turn on your lights and stuff like that. So it is a local control protocol, but all of the local control systems that I've seen, the local controllers, have cloud counterparts that let you program them.
Okay. Rafael, can you tell me more about how ultra-wideband will complement Matter or make the home more autonomous?
Yes, I mean, one of the areas that UWB brings is the awareness of where other devices are relative to oneself, and so that's relative location is information that is a new capability UWB brings, and so now when you have spatial awareness, you really enhance the capability of a device to have situational awareness. where a person is. Is it the second floor or the first floor, right? Is this particular speaker in my TV room versus my kitchen? And so the ability to really kind of track, devices, understand the location, it allows devices to create more information and create better decisions, right? They take better decisions. And so this is an enhancement in UWB. Now, if you couple that with the fact that these devices can communicate with one another, irrespective of who the OEM is, it's an incredible, powerful combination.
Yeah. That sounds like that's going to be a great combination. You got a lot of good stuff in your shop there, it sounds like. So another question, how does Matter work with legacy products in my home?
Great question, because it's especially important to early adopters that are already using this stuff, already using smart home technology and have it deployed. Like me, for example, like I said earlier, I have 3 different ecosystems, and I don't want to go around and replace every light switch in the house when I start adding my Matter devices here as soon as I get home, in fact. It turns out that the Matter specification has a provision for something called bridges, it's a kind of a formal way for you to take your legacy product. Let's say it's Z-Wave. If someone had a Z-Wave, if some manufacturer was using Z-Wave and wanted to manufacture a bridge, they could do it the Matter way. So that the bridge speaks Matter on one side, and on the other side speaks Z-Wave, and then the translation happens inside the bridge. Now, obviously, that doesn't handle every single command. In other words, it's not a perfect thing. But stuff like turning a light off and on and adjusting a temperature, that's not too hard to do because pretty much all of these smart home ecosystems do that sort of thing. So it's just a matter of translating the language that Matter uses into the language that the legacy system uses. The other way to look at coexistence, or the way to look at how to migrate, is just simple coexistence. I mean, if you're using a system that's already doing what you want as a remote control system for your lights, keep doing that. The fact that you're adding Matter doesn't affect the systems that you already have in place. So those are the 2 answers there. Keep doing what you're doing and use a bridge to make it smarter.
Yeah. And I think it's a good point, right? There's an install base today of products that use Z-Wave or the Zigbee or other products, right? And this concept of having a Matter bridge really allows these install bases to become somewhat part of the Matter ecosystem. I think that's important because people went through a lot of trouble to installing them to begin with, so they're not going to remove them. But for sure, that's like a state for today. I think over time, right? Next products are just without a doubt going to adopt Matter, right? And install bases are going to become part of the Matter ecosystem by bridging that protocol through these bridges. It's called Matter bridges, which translate from Zigbee to Matter and vice versa, right? And so that's why it's so powerful about it, is that we're not deprecating existing install bases. We're going to make it part of it, but moving forward is moving to Matter.
All right, well, it seems like our questions are starting to wind down online, so I hope you took some good insights away from this discussion today. Be sure to like and follow our page to connect with us on future live events. Thanks, Rafael and Bill, for the stimulating and inspiring session. And thanks to all of you for taking part in this discussion. It has been recorded, and we'll be sharing that afterwards on our channels. Bill, I think we'll be seeing a lot more of you in 2023. As I already mentioned, we've been recording him like crazy here at CES. If you want to learn more about Matter, you can check out our recent paper on Matter at nxp.com/Matter. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Imagine a smart home where stuff just works together. That's the promise of Matter, the industry unifying standard that delivers reliable, secure connectivity. No more closed systems, no more headaches when adding new devices. Just seamless interoperability for connecting them all, across ecosystems and brands. As the technology provider for Matter devices, NXP makes it possible. With blueprints and the end-to-end solutions for secure and seamless connectivity, to a range of processing and sensing solutions for ambient awareness, We simplify product development and enable innovation at every turn. We also bring new levels of security with robust and streamlined components and services, so you can trust that you and your home are safe and protected. With NXP and Matter, developing your next idea for smart home devices and beyond has never been easier or more exciting. See what possibility looks like at nxp.com/matter.